Hey guys, it's Kent Davis here from Panama Equity Real Estate. Today I'm going to talk to you about the best things to do in Panama. I've been here since 2007 and I've done pretty much all of these things. And of course, this is always dependent on what you're into. So let's start if you're a tourist and you've got a week in Panama. My first piece of advice is plan on getting outside of the city. Either completely relocate to a place like Bocas del Toro if you kind of want to party and be on the water, San Blas if you want to chill and see just a magical place, Pedasí if you want that middle ground. You can go down to Vanau, which is about a half an hour from Pedasí. You can get party in Vanau, chill in Pedasí, culture in Pedasí, culture in Vanau, all in one little package. So that's the first piece of advice is don't spend a week in Panama City. You only need a couple days if you're a tourist in Panama City. If you've only got a couple days, you definitely want to check out the canal. You can't come to Panama without checking out the canal. Go to Casco Viejo. Panama gets a little hot, so you're going to want to plan your day accordingly. Do your outside activities in the early morning and the early afternoon, or the late afternoon, I should say. And then that middle time, plan on a nice chill lunch, something you can do indoors. What are some indoor activities you can do as a visitor? Well, you can go to the Panama Canal. That's a great thing to do in the middle of the day. They've got a restaurant there. You can watch the boats. You can watch the IMAX movie. That'll take round trip if you're in the city, 3 hours. So there's a nice chunk of the hottest part of the day. If you're just jonesing to get outside in the middle of the day, go somewhere where there's shade. You've got Parque El Mar. You've got Summit Park, which is fantastic. That's about 20 minutes outside of the city center. Cost you $10 one way for a taxi. You can get an Uber or a taxi on the way back, but you might want to have a driver. If you get a driver, plan on paying him what? $40 for 4 hours kind of thing. You could talk to him. And they do have some food out there, but bring food. So we've got a whole nother video on things to do in Panama City, but things to do in general in Panama. Nightlife, awesome. Casco Viejo, El Cangrejo, San Francisco for fine dining. And then you can go to places like, golly, local spot, El Cangrejo, live music, beer, rum, people dancing. It's really, really friendly, safe nightlife scene here in Panama. Outside of the city, depends on where you are. If you go to a place like Boquete, there are always tourists there, and there are locals that are going out at night. So Boquete is a little different. Boquete is nicer climate or cooler climate. That is about a 6-hour drive from Panama City. Easy drive, head straight for 5 hours and 15 minutes. Hang a right or head north at that point. So you're going west and then north for like half an hour, 45 minutes, and you're in Boquete. Boquete is another world. Beautiful. That you can go see coffee plantations, zip lining, hiking, whitewater rafting, all of the ecotourism and outdoor activities to your heart's content. So other places off the beaten path, El Escudo de Veraguas is insane. That is in Veraguas province. To get there, you go to Santa Fe and then you keep driving. You're going to want to use Santa Fe Veraguas as your jumping off point. From there, it's about a 2-hour drive down to the ocean. At that point, you're crossing the Continental Divide. And wow, absolutely beautiful. I mentioned Bocas earlier. Some off the beaten path places like Cambutal, for example. That is from Panama City. You go straight for about 3 hours to Santiago, 3.5 hours, and then you head south. And you're going around down the Azuero Peninsula from the Mariato Bay past there. And no, that's not right. Cambutal, you're going to access from the other side. Sorry, edit that. So Cambutal, you're going to want to go from Santiago, but then you sort of bear left. Or even better, go straight down to Visa. There's a new road that goes down around Las Tablas, straight down to Cambutal. That's the best way to get to Cambutal. So if you can also want to check out the western Azuero, that's where Mariato is. That's where Santiago is. Santa Catalina is very interesting if you're a surfer. Closer to the city, you've got places like Coronado. Further from the city, closer to the Costa Rican border, you've got, well, the town of David is a town, nothing special or amazing, but, you know, every bit of a good-sized city. It's our second largest city in Panama. So from there, you can go to places like Puerto Armuelles, which is right along the Costa Rican border. Very pretty, old plantations, old architecture, interesting topography there, good roads, good food. Golly, that almost covers it, doesn't it? We've got the northern coast, of course, Bocas del Toro. From Panama City, you can also go to Colón. Colón proper is in transition, we can say. There's a lot of construction going on right now. The roads are so-so. Not a place you want to be putting around at night with a big camera. It's a port town. So all the good and the bad that comes from port towns. But you can go to the Costa Riba, which is the northern coast of Colón. From there, you know, it's an hour back to the city. And boy, that's a beautiful drive. From Panama City, heading north, you hang a right at Sabanitas, which is, there's an El Rey supermarket there. You're going as if you're going to Isla Grande. From Sabanitas, so from Panama City to Sabanitas, 40 minutes. From Sabanitas to Isla Grande, about another hour. However, before you get to Isla Grande, you can also hang a right instead of sort of bearing left and go to places like Palenque, Nombre de Dios. Long drive, beautiful drive, easy drive, but it's a hike, right? I mean, you're 2 hours, 2.5 hours outside of Panama City at that point, but very beautiful. Not a whole lot going on per se, not much tourism, not much art infrastructure, but you can always find a place to eat and you can always find a beautiful beach. So that kind of covers it. We've got beaches, mountains, and city, and it's easy to get around. Roads are great. People are lovely, always willing to help. Questions, comments, you know where to put them down below. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.